John Harper, all things baseball for him, one of the great racquetball players you're ever going to see. Good temper on a golf course, and was one of the great softball players in the history of Jersey. And he says hello. Johnny, welcome. How are you, buddy? Okay?
Good. No commentary needed, Chris. All good.
How about that putt I made on 16 with Valentine? Not
God.
Bad for the birdie, was it not? Tell me about it, Johnny boy.
That was an all-timer, 90 feet, and we still lost the match.
Yeah, Harper is so competitive. You got to love him. Bobby V and I went there in October. All right, a lot to do here. Let's do the Yankees first, you and me. You know, the Yankees are doing what you thought they would do. You know, LeMahieu, they made sure they kept him. And then they sort of dabbled around the edges to improve that staff without going all in on a guy like Bauer. They make a move on the Pirate righty. They bring Kluber in for $11 million. Financial scenario real for the Steinbrenners. Give me your thoughts on what the Yankees have done the last couple of weeks. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, this is a little bit the way they've worked in the past, but after they spent that money on Cole, you knew they weren't going to go big again. Hal Steinbrenner wants to see a championship before he goes all out again, I think, especially when Tampa, a team with a third of his payroll, beat him in the postseason. But I think they've done some good things. They're taking a chance, though. I mean, who knows if Kluber can stay healthy? Same with Tyon. He hasn't pitched really much at all in the last couple of years. So there's some gamble here. It reminds me a little bit of what they tried with Tulowitzki a couple of years ago when he got hurt right away. So it's a gamble, but they do have some young arms. This gives them some comfort level with being able to use their young arms. And now they went and traded Ottavino and brought in O'Day, which is, I think that's a solid move because Ottavino he's had problems in the postseason. O'Day's a good guy against right-handed pitching, and they saved some money there, but they're probably going to end up using to bring back Brett Gardner. So, yeah, they are working around the edges of what they're going to be able to do payroll-wise, and they've made some good moves. We'll see if they work out.
And in the American League right now, John, I mean, listen, Tampa's not as good. I mean, a lot of the Houston is not as good. Oakland isn't as good. I mean, there's not a dominant team in the American League. I know you're going to tell me Blue Jays and White Sox, but I got to see it to believe it with Toronto, and the White Sox got a lot of work to do as well. The Yankees are still, it's amazing, despite a lot of inactivity, you can make an argument they're still the team to beat in the league. What's your take? Let me hear.
I would agree. They're going to be in the postseason. We'll see what kind of expanded postseason it is again this year, but they're going to be there no matter what. I think Tampa has taken a little bit of a hit here. I think they'll be good again, but when you take away two of their top starting pitchers, they got to take a little bit of a hit. Toronto's coming, but I think they still need pitching. We'll see what else they do. They just traded for Steven Matz. We'll see if that helps them at all. The White Sox are dangerous, no doubt about it. They've gotten better. They added big in the bullpen there with Hendrick and we'll see what they do otherwise. And they got that kid Kopech. If he comes back, don't forget, he's a guy that could be a number one type starter if he's healthy again. So, but you're right. The Yankees are there. Their big hope is that they get to October and Kluber is healthy, Tyon's healthy, and they've been able to survive the season. I imagine they'll do some things to make sure they don't go too demanding with their innings, so they're ready come October. But if they are, then they will be the team to beat even against anybody in the postseason, I would think.
100%. You can't tell me the Yankees won't hit Lance Lynn in a big game. I'm sorry. I'm not going to believe that until I see it.
Well, but you know what? You're right, Chris. But we always talk about Yankees starting pitching, but the issue for them in postseasons has been the lack of timely hitting. Really, that's been why they haven't been able to get over the hump. So it's guys like Judge and Stanton and those guys and Voit. Those guys are going to have to get big hits against whoever it is. That's been what's keeping them from winning championships.
Well, it did last year. The Tampa bullpen, Yankees did not hit against them. You're 1,000% right. Well, listen, the Mets have been busy. Maybe they do also bring Bauer in. Luxury tax be damned. Mr. Cohen's made a big statement. Mets are going to be good. We'll see how good. Maybe they could use another pitcher. But all things are looking good here in Flushing. Your take there for a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have, if you're going to go over the luxury tax, which they almost certainly will if they get Bauer, I would have gone for Springer. I know you can say the pitching maybe will matter more, but I think Springer was the perfect guy. They need a center fielder still. Nimmo's a good corner outfielder. He's not really a center fielder. And they need the Springer. I think they need the Springer's right-handed bat, a guy who's been proven in the clutch. They didn't get him, so we'll see if they get Bauer now. Bauer could be the guy, though. He could put him over the top come October. You put him, slot him behind DeGrom, and now you got Carrasco and Stroman. That's a heck of a rotation if that happens. But we'll see. I'm not sure the Mets are committed to giving him the kind of money he's looking for yet. But maybe that market is starting to slide a little bit for Bauer. You know, I don't know if you saw the story in the LA Times that he's got a major issue, I guess, with Mickey Callaway, who's his pitching coach in Cleveland. So maybe that's not a spot for him. So maybe he's running out of places where he can get the kind of money he thought he could get in terms of trying to match Cole's AAV.
Yeah, fair point. You know, Bauer is something. And the one thing about the Mets for Springer, John, I don't know if there's going to be a DH, and that's the case. They got to leave left field open for Dominic Smith. And if they brought Springer in, you're running out of outfielders. I wonder if that played into that at all. Now, he got a lot of money. I'm sure that was the main thing, and they got to sign Lindor. But the Mets are a team in the NL that needs a DH in a worse way with Alonso and Dominic Smith at first base. Let me hear your take on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good point. And also, you know, they want to extend Conforto, too, so that played into it a little bit as well. But and come on, it's ridiculous that we don't know if there's going to be a DH in the National League. I still think there will be. I think this is, as you know, I know you've talked about, this is a bargaining chip that both sides are trying to use here. Well, most of the MLB, I think, is trying to use because Players Association obviously wants it. But, I mean, technically we're less than a month from spring training, and you still don't know if you're going to have a DH. They got to be able to figure this out for teams that are waiting. You know, it's impacted teams like the Mets for sure. And then, you know, other teams as well. Guys like Ozuna, the Braves, maybe they're waiting on that. I mean, they got to figure this out and let teams know.
Now, we'll get to that. That's a very fair point, 100% right. Last thing, what's your take on San Diego and some of the moves they made in that tough division with all their pitching? Let me hear your take on the Padres. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, they should be really good. If those guys all live up to their reputations and what they've done, recent track records, Darvish especially, he came on strong last year. What they added there, I think that they should really challenge the Dodgers. They have the kind of pitching now where if they get to the postseason again, you would think they'd be able to match up with the Dodgers and hold that offense down. So, to me, they're right. You know, I think it's Dodgers. I don't know. I guess Dodgers, Padres, Braves go 1, 2, 3, but they're all pretty close. And then I would kind of slot the Mets in there fourth with the Nationals, who have done some really good things, kind of a little bit under the radar as well.
Yep.
So. But the Padres they should be a legit contender, no doubt.
Yeah, Braves, Dodgers, Padres. You got to put the Dodgers 1, Braves 2, but the Padres are right there at number 3. John, always a pleasure. Hit him straight. Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on today. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Chris.